Welcome, reading one. Welcome to your Where's My Blind Spot reading, or What is My Blind Spot? So I'm going to read what is in the book. I took this from the complete book of tarot spreads, and it's on page 76, and this is the description of the reading. Discovering your blind spot is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it addresses your personal strengths. Tarot cards do not invent blind spots. They only mirror the way we see the things that follow us daily. Finding a blind spot is of value to everything that concerns our life. Cards used to discover blind spots can be neither chosen nor pulled. We would then see only what we already know, not what we don't, which is precisely the blind spot in the lens. The best sign of a blind spot is when you look at a card and think that the person who has painted the picture has made a mistake. Cards that you perceive as being either exclusively positive or negative are also the clearest indicators of blind spots. So do you see what they're saying there? It's about seeing everything as a whole. And I feel like this in itself is your blind spot, reading one. This in itself is your blind spot. Could be judging. I saw Libra, so we're in Virgo in real time. We're in Virgo moon and Virgo season, but Libra is coming up. So remember that Libra is karma, is the balancing of the scales. It's about bringing things back into balance. So I feel like right now, this is your blind spot, is looking at things as either good or bad, or am I doing enough? Am I enough? Overthinking, monkey mind, It's about getting calm. It's about getting centered. It's about going with the flow. In real time, we are in the eclipse season energy. We're just a few days away from the first quarter moon. Wait, hold on. I just realized something. Hold on. Hold your horses. Just give me a second. Okay, that's right. So the first quarter moon today in real time is the 26th of August, 2025, which is also a 7-day. But on Saturday, the 30th, is the first quarter moon. And it's amplified 2 times, Spirit said, meaning like this is where we take action in the real change. What intentions did you set of this new moon in Virgo? And if you haven't yet, that's okay. And whenever you watch this, it's timeless, of course. But then maybe this is about either going back to that time, which is the present for us, but for you will be the past. And that's what I mean. It becomes all linear, right? And you start to see things differently. And maybe that's why they even wanted me to word it that way, because I was about to give an explanation, and then they just showed me this like black hole abyss of like, this is what you need to be uncomfortable with. Your blind spot is you want to control things. And a lot of you are empaths and sensitives, and you've learned to control the energy. You've learned to control things you needed to be able to survive. But Spirit's saying you don't need to do that anymore. There is the blind spot right now. The biggest blind spot for everybody is that we've got so much in the shadow going, look at the monkey, look at the monkey, look at all these horrible, shitty things I'm doing. Just as we know that the shadow amplifies what needs to be seen, we're in an eclipse season. So eclipse season is kind of double that. So they're saying we have this double moon, which is a black moon, when we have 2 new moons in the same moon cycle at the beginning and the end of the cycle. So that is showing us, I feel like it's so interesting. To me, I feel like I kept hearing from Spirit the World Series, which is the end of October, usually somewhere around there in America. And I believe that it's like this shadow is so dark. It's like there's wars everywhere. All these horrible things are happening, right? But Gaia is doing this for us, not to us. She wants them to see that there's more tornadoes than ever, that there's more blah, blah, blah. And yes, the people that died, some of them are just seat fillers. I know that that sounds fucking weird, but it's true. You know, it's like, I feel like in my experience, I feel like Earth is a training school. You know, we're all one. We are all one. But I feel like we co-created these like seat filler people. I mean, you know, I've been around them where they're like, they're just very basic, or they're very kind, or, you know, they don't, I don't know, it's a kind of a vanilla personality. I can't explain it. I saw this guy in the grocery store the other day, and he's like, darn it, they don't have my favorite vanilla. And I was telling him this story about my cousin growing up, and how every time we went to Baskin Robbins, my aunt would get frustrated with him because he wanted vanilla. And she's like, you can get all these flavors. And, you know, this is like the 80s, right? So, you know, it's like, that was a big deal. We didn't have that many ice cream flavors. If you went to the grocery store, there was like one fucking section, and it was like chocolate, vanilla, Neapolitan, maybe Rocky Road, you know, pecan, you know what I mean? Like maybe 20 flavors, maybe. But like, it was like, no, you go to Baskin Robbins, it was like, all these different, you know, bubble gum and like Mississippi mud and all these cool names. These were like some of my favorite. Gold medal ribbon. Woo, yes. Where are my gold medal people at? Gold medal ribbon. You guys remember that one? Oh, I love caramel. I digress. Would you see what I'm saying? We've been repressed. And every time they push back, we push back too. They're doing it again. They've been doing it again, you know, all over the world. You know, it's like, this isn't allowed here. You'll be killed if you know, kiss somebody of the same gender. You know, if you steal something, we're going to cut your hands off. I mean, it's like, it's a little fucking extreme. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're seeing that a mass healing must take place on the planet. And I feel like that's what Spirit's saying, is that you're part of the solution, not part of the problem. So get the fuck out. Stop playing small. Stop pretending like you're a seat filler, or you're still in the muggle mind of the third dimensional energy. If you're here right now, you're here for a purpose, right? Everybody's got a dream. What's your dream? You are allowed to be your awesome self. I got this fairy energy. I'm coming in, so mind your ears. I don't know where your volume is at in your phone. So we're going to clear away that energy. We're going to clear it away so the butterfly can fly free, right? Look at the glitter. And they can shine and be as awesome. You can shine and be as awesome as you want to be. And they don't want you to be in any fear-based energy anymore. It's not working for you. That's your fucking blind spot. And fear is part of the control. I mean, if you look up, you know, if you look at fear and you look at like all these like words that are repressive, they all come to the, like, you know how we always say when you're trying to solve a problem or solve an issue, in order to actually, you know, solve it and cure it, you have to go to the root of it. Well, that's where this is in the energy right now, right? We need to get to the root of the blind spot so that we can rip it out. So for each of you, it's going to be different, but like, where's your blind spot? Where is your, you know what I mean? Like, where is the fear-based energy rooted in your story and your existence? Start there. And some things I know, they're hard to look at, they're hard to see, but you will not move forward, and you will keep in this pattern, and you will stay on that fucking hamster wheel until you are maddened and you're so fucking crazed that you're like, all right, I'm going to change, you know? That's when crazy stuff happens, you know? But I mean, I had a situation where I just had, like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to, I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. And I literally like, just like ran out in the middle of the night with no shoes on. And it was like cold and icky outside. And I was like a hair away from throwing myself in front of a semi on the freeway. I'm not fucking kidding. I was just like, I was like, I can't have this conversation anymore. I can't do this anymore. It's just been too much. And when I got down there, my first thought was, oh my gosh, what if I hurt somebody else? And that's when you know that it's going to be okay and you're going on the right path, right? Like, because you're not going to kill yourself. You're not going to take it that far, right? Because you wouldn't hurt somebody else. You're a beautiful soul. You're a fairy energy. The ant just came in and literally crawled on the page, and I haven't seen an ant over here in a while. So it's been coming up so much for this tribe. And obviously, you know, we're not working with it close enough. Ants are about community. They're about, you know, they all work together. They're all for one, one for all. And maybe that's what you're concerned about, is if you leave your situation, where will you be? And it's like, but when you leave that situation, have you ever heard that saying, you know, if you step off the cliff, like, you know, you have to believe that the net is going to be there. Like, you, if you're going to, not for real though, of course, please don't do that. And you never know. I mean, it's like, because you know what would happen? You can fall off the cliff and live, but then now you're a paraplegic, or you are, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying you're going to be, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? It's like, how far do you want your story? Like, how far do you want your lessons to go? I feel like Spirit's like, are you done feeling like you are handicapped, right? Because you're not. And there are people that are genuinely stuck in those chairs for life. Maybe it was their, you know, whatever, maybe it wasn't. But, you know, I saw this thing recently of this woman who's been in a wheelchair for years, and I don't remember, I think she got hit by a car or something. And everyone's like, gosh, she's still so happy. How can she still be so happy? And they're like, because at the base root, she's a really happy, joyful person. This thing happened for her, not to her. And she's there to show the world how wonderful they are. And she can say to people, like, look, I'm in this chair, but you can still go hike that mountain. Go hike it for me. By the way, while I was looking on, every so often, I'd look at the time. I saw 11:22, 11:33, 11:44, and 11:55 is coming up. So they're either, you're seeing repetitive numbers or angel numbers, and I feel like Spirit keeps trying to send you signs. And some of you, this isn't a tongue lashing for like, rah, 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 rah. This is like a wake the fuck up, light worker. You are real. You have these gifts. I had the same comeuppance. I had to download the same medicine. Oh, when I looked up, it was 12/13, which is my birthday, right? Like, it's like none of us are devoid of this energy and this shadow energy. We're still going through it. We're still working through it. We're going through it. We're working through it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We have to do it. It's part of our purpose. You are a pathfinder, a prophet, a poet, you know, it's like you're a light worker, a witch, a healer, a deep down believer in magic. You wouldn't be here otherwise. That's who I am. That's what I do. I am here to open you up so that you can recognize you. That is my job, is to remind you who you are. So get out of your own way. The fear is only from the past. You have to believe in right now, and you have to believe in the future. It's all happening all at once. I too went through something really intense recently. That is why I am having such passion for this healing for you, because it takes a minute, but you have to look at it. Looking away is not going to solve the issue. So I'm coming in. This is your tarot card. Now, it's interesting. I felt like all the cards were upside down. So either it is, or that's the way the deck was. But I'm going to read the up and the reverse, because I feel like they all have a purpose and they all have something to say. This is the Ace of Cups. This is euphoria. Look at this beautiful card. Look at these creatures. Look at how beautiful. Also, did you notice the life spiral? Your cup is runneth over. You are the victor. You're at the precipice of a new beginning. I'm going to go in a little bit. You're at the precipice of a new beginning. And new beginnings can feel scary, right? Like, they want me to bring the amethyst into the left. Like, it feels like a mountain, right? Like you have to climb this mountain. And when I started this, I heard, climb every mountain. I can't do her voice. She's so amazing. So I'm going to read from the book because it is literally one of my favorite books I've ever read from any creator of any deck of any kind. Um, so this is from the Joie de Vivre, which is loosely translated, I'm paraphrasing, or it might be the straight translation, which is the joy of life, or, you know, a life worth living is a life of joy, is basically what I got from Spirit. This is by Paulina Cassidy. It's such a great deck. It just, there's so much whimsy. And I feel like this is why they brought this in. They wanted all of us to awaken our fairy, our connection with Gaia, you know, our connection with all things, right? Butterflies. Do butterflies still make you smile and giggle? Good, they should. That's what they're here to do. They're here to remind us of our beauty and our grace and our joy and our life. Also, some of you may be water signs because we're in an earth energy right now. So she's standing on the earth, but there's definitely, I know water in tarot is emotions, cups is emotions, but I feel as if this is like, once you get past this hurdle, you know, once you climb every mountain, forge every, you know, sea, follow every byway, every road, like everything, right? Like follow every rainbow till you find your dream, a dream that can need, I think something, all the love you can give, right? And look at all the love every day of your life, for as long as you live. So listen, that is literally your theme song. You need to find it. It's from, you know, as much as I love, I think her name is Peggy something. I can't think of it right now. Peggy Irving, the original, you know, the nun from The Sound of Music who sings it to Maria when Maria is giving up hope, and she's like, no, you need to, you know, this is what you thought your dream was, but your dream has just been realized. This is where you're meant to be. Like, this is your path. This is your purpose. You're meant to be with this man and help these children. And she did. You know, it's like, she was like, but I feel a call to God. And it's like, you know, The Sound of Music is based on a true story. Of course, they embellished for the movie, but it's based on a true story. And, oh, now look down, 1717. Oh, which is also 88. And that's infinity. And we're at the end of August, the 8th month. This Lionsgate portal was a whole new place, and it opened up a whole new world. You know, I mean, for my mermaids, you know, a whole new world, right? Like, this is it. Like, this is it. And you have to believe it, like Tinkerbell, you know, when everybody was like clapping for her to bring her back to life. It's like your joy and your, you know, joie de vivre, your joy of life is what the planet needs right now. And if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. It's okay. You know, oh my gosh, I have to show you, like, is it not, look at the reflection over here. Like, isn't this, looks like mountains too? Right? Like, but Spirit's saying they don't want you to look at it like you have to climb a mountain. It just feels like a mountain. They're doing the work for us. You just need to focus on you and your joy and what you bring to the world. You don't have a blind spot. From moving forward, fear is not in your vocabulary. You know, something might come your way and it might bring a little fright. That's okay. That's part of humanity. That's part of, you know, soul knowledge that something's not right or something's uncomfortable. That's right. You need that part of your ego to keep you alive, right? But we don't need the fear of, like, you know, I can go on and on. I feel like you see what I'm saying. Also, if you want to go deeper, every Sunday I go live at noon Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to ask any more in-depth questions with Spirit, it is free. Of course, I take donations, but they're not expected. They're just appreciated. And there's links for that. And prayer is free. So it's just about the exchange of energy. But you're welcome to come and be with us. If you're new here, welcome. And welcome back to those of you who keep coming back. We are a beautiful, wonderful tribe. And we are a tribe of light workers and seers. And we're here, you know, we're the magicians, the healers, the deep down believers in magic, like for real. And we need each other. And I'm here to just be your cheerleader and boost you up and help you find your place. So, the Ace of Cups. I'm going to go in reverse because that's the quote unquote shadow aspect of the card. So, the reversed is emotional blocks, unreasonable demands, and disappointment. Oh, I just got the chills. Yeah, because that's what I feel like. That's your blind spot, right? Like, again, like wanting to control things. You're having emotional blocks because you don't want to go back and heal the things that you need to heal, but you need to heal them. And some of you, you have a hard time crying. Fucking cry, man. I don't care if it's your favorite book, a movie, a song, all of the above, an album. You know I have certain albums, like whole albums, that I can listen to that album and bam, take me right back to that place if I need to heal it. You know what I'm saying? And so what is it that you know, or maybe you avoid, right? Because if you're here, most likely you're an empath or a sensitive of some kind, right? Because light workers are. We have to, part of having that empathy is being able to hold space and help heal others, right? But we cannot heal others if we have not healed ourselves. And so Spirit's saying, it's time for you to heal yourself. It's time for you to work on yourself. Take a break. I feel like the next month, I know for myself, I love self-care September. It's just that time where people are kind of getting back into school. Summer's, winding down. I know it's on the Southern Hemisphere. We love you, our Southern Hemisphere family, right? Like you're going into spring and summer and all that. But but for the Northern Hemisphere, which is a big chunk of, where we live, or I should say the humans that are alive on the planet and using their phones and doing those things, I feel like in my experience, maybe I'm wrong, please correct me, it just feels like there's more of a dense energy in the Northern Hemisphere. So when we are going into lockdown, that's when a lot of people start to get a little more tender. Plus we're going into the holiday season. And I know for myself, I love this time of year, from this time of year to the end of the year. And it's like, oh, we did it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Lionsgate is, for light workers, it's kind of like our big like crescendo of like energy, because we have 1111, we have different portals every month, and we have different experiences, of course, and they're all special and they're all unique. I would liken the Lionsgate portal to Samhain, which is Halloween, Dios de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, that because that is the time on Earth where the veil is the thinnest between the dimensions and the, all the different energies, timelines, all that kind of thing. So it's very interesting. That's the time for us to really connect with our ancestors. But the Lionsgate portal is when it's literally a portal into the universe where we're getting so many connections and downloads, and then all of those connections and downloads that we receive from the Lionsgate portal, we then initiate them and integrate them into all of our being, our mind, body, and soul and energetic field and all that stuff for the next year until the next Lionsgate portal. So for me, I always love this time of year because people get more quiet, people go inside. I love being around people. I really do. I do. But a friend and I were talking about this recently because we're both super sensitives. And I was like, man, I'm like the fucking vampires. And I was like thinking succubus, and like literally they go, a succubus. I'm like, yes. I'm like, because there's just certain people on this planet right now that are like, they don't even know they're doing it. Like they're really good people and good souls, but like they're sucking the fucking life out of everything and everyone. It's really intense. Also, the fly came in here. I don't even know how, because I haven't opened any windows today. So either it was in here from yesterday or something, but anyway, long story short, your spirit animals to work with are the ant and the fly. And the fly has so much beauty about them. They are deceivers and they do carry dark magic, but they are also light bringers as well. And another thing to like, don't just judge somebody by a book by their cover kind of thing, right? I feel like for some of you, this is something that you're really tackling with, because I feel like it's coming back around again. Okay, so, but when we're in light of this energy, when we're in the upright position of the Ace of Cups, we're in love, bliss, celebration, harmony, and compassion. And that's who you really are. This is you. You want to know who you are? This is you. Take a screenshot. Welcome to you. And if you identify with being a man, quote unquote, this is your divine feminine inside of you that is begging to be seen. And I had a conversation with someone recently that are male identified, and we were talking about the divine feminine and their feminine side, and they're like, I'm just a pussy. And I was like, oh dude. I'm like, no. I'm like, you're fucking beautiful, you're amazing. I'm like, do you know how, you know what I mean? Like, that is what what the world needs now is love, sweet love. I'm like, don't hide that. I'm like, that's an old programming. I'm like, you're beautiful, just the way you are. In fact, it's like, bring that out, be that teacher, be that, because they were saying like they feel like they're identifying at this point in their life with more of like being a teacher and a leader. And I'm like, that's beautiful. It's like, right, because we had to, a lot of us as light workers and leaders, we have to go and experience things so that we can bring the medicine and the teachings to other people. We are the leaders, and we need leaders, and you can't just have one leader. We see what happens when you have one leader that's like, look at me, I'm the best, I'm the leader. And it's like, really? Because you have the least amount of compassion, the least amount of real education when it comes to being a human being. I'm not going to name names. You just can think for yourself, but you know what I mean? It's just like, no, the leaders that we need on the planet are ones that come from love and compassion, but still are extremely intelligent and educated. And I believe that as light workers, we are that next phase. We are the teachers and the leaders, because the littles that are being born right now, the children that are coming up, when these dark shadows, when these old patriarchal energies die, because they will, they're on their way out, right? Like some of them, I'm like, how are you still alive? Like, I'm like, gosh, my mom was so much healthier than this person, and they died at, and I know everything happens for a reason, blah, blah, blah. But, maybe he's pumped up with steroids. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is that they're showing us that we're in this allegiance of the awakening and the next phase. So, we need to strengthen ourselves and become the best version of the human and the soul that we are, and that we were brought here to be, to teach and to educate and to lead. And you, my friend, are a leader. Ace of Cups, this is a new beginning for you, but you need to own it. You need to live it, know it. So here's the message. This is what I love about this reader. Living and breathing the spirit of love, Euphoria knows no end to the flow of beauty she draws forth and exudes. That's Euphoria. I wrote names on the cards, so like if I ever didn't use the book, because sometimes they don't have me use the book, I always like to remember their names and honor them. So it says, her cup overflows with the waters of emotional fulfillment. A sprite hovering above the cup holds the key to the heart, and pink doves offer her love berries. Magnetize spiritual knowledge by becoming more open and receptive, and let your heart light shine. Turn on your heart light. Yes, go watch E.T. When's the last time did you watch E.T.? Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch E.T. Watch it, and if you can, try and watch it commercial free, so you can really be in it and be in the moment. Of course, if you have to pause and go to the bathroom or get a snack, that's fine, but like, be in the moment. You got to stop and cry. Don't hold back. Let your inner child, that's what I'm feeling, is like, I feel like your inner child, someone told you somewhere to not feel or not be, or like my friend said, I'm a pussy. I'm like, you're not a fucking pussy, because you're a strong man who has a big fucking heart. You are a warrior. We are all warriors, and you are warriors of the heart. Never forget that. Spirit says, a spiritual awakening will take place as the beginning of new desires and emotions emerge. Trust your inner voice. Your caring nature will enhance psychic awareness. Listen to messages from within. And they said, remember, magnetize spiritual knowledge by becoming more open and receptive, and let your heart light shine. And those, my dear, beautiful reading one, are your messages. I love you so much. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. All of my information is in the description box if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, alone, away from this channel. Or if you would like a group reading, I do group readings. If you would like to do a channeling, we can do it in person, and we can even do it over the phone. I know that sounds crazy. People are like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, you can. You could just turn the phone on, and you don't even need to see me. I don't need to see you guys. The spirits will come through. I'm a true telepathic medium, so everything just comes straight through me, and I don't even have to see you. But if you like to have like some type of get together or something like that, I do on donation basis. My minimum is $85, because it's just, I'm worth it, but then I always say, if you want to add more, if you want to donate more, however you want to do it, it's always, and a lot of times people will say, well, how do I know? I'm like, meditate on it. Spirit will give you a number, because they know, and what you can afford, right? and you know, and they know what is like, everybody has their threshold of like what they need and don't need, and it's none of my business to say so. So anyway, I love you so much. All my information is in the description box, like I said, and on Sundays we go live at noon Pacific Standard Time. I will see you over there. If not, I will see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, I love you. The Spirit loves you, and your angels and all of your people who look out for you love you, and your higher self says, I love you. We got this. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 2. Wow. I was getting ready to zhuzh up as I took away the altar and reading 1 stuff, and they were very particular about me keeping it sparse. Sparse? Is that the word? So here is the description of our reading today, so that you can get a better insight into what we're working with and dealing with. And if you can, if it's safe to do so, please close your eyes so that you can take in and digest this information. Discovering your blind spots is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it addresses your personal strengths. Tarot cards do not invent blind spots. They only mirror the way we see the things that follow us daily. Finding a blind spot is of value to everything that concerns our life. Cards used to discover blind spots can be neither chosen nor pulled. We would then see only what we already know, not what we don't, which is precisely the blind spot in the lens. The best sign of a blind spot is when you look at a card and think that the person who has painted the picture has made a mistake. But there are no mistakes, are there? Cards that you perceive as being either exclusively positive or negative are also the clearest indicators of blind spots. So, interestingly enough, reading 1, we went at this in a completely different way, but yours is interesting because I'm feeling like we need to go straight into the card. And before I turn it over, I just want to let you know that when I was pulling the cards, I can't remember if they were all, but I feel like the 3 that I pulled for the 3 readings, some were sideways, some were upside down, and I wasn't sure. So Spirit said, we're going to look at both the upright and the reversed energy so that you can better understand where and what your blind spot is. Also, my throat chakra feels like there's something stuck in my throat, like literally. Like I literally feel like there's something stuck in my throat, and I feel like no matter how much I swallow, like I'm like, what is going on? So something's going on with your throat chakra. It could even be, I woke up feeling stuffy, like I was getting sick, and I rarely, and I mean rarely, get sick. So maybe this is for you. Also, I was pulled to bring in some rosemary. So it could be for some of you, you need to protect your energy. You need to protect your space. Also, I've been getting these weird, like, I feel like somebody's stabbing my temples, like migraines, headaches. I'm hearing some of you are just really overstimulated. You're overworked. And especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming off of summer. Kids are going back into school. You know what I mean? It's just that winding down in real time. Today is Tuesday, August 26, 2025. So we're like right, at the beginning of Labor Day weekend. Some people in America like really get into Labor Day weekend because it's the last one. So some are already on vacation and they'll take like the whole week. It's like Christmas kind of, it's like summertime Christmas for a lot of Americans. So some people, I mean, the area I live in is so touristy and the traffic has been crazy since last Friday. And normally over the summer, I've been blessed to have this kind of like lull between Monday and Tuesday where it lightens up, and it's been not at all. So I can feel that the energy is amping up. And whenever you watch this, it's timeless, of course, but I'm getting this vibe from Spirit that like maybe you're just under a lot of intense scrutiny energy. Like I just feel this like somebody wants to like, yeah. And I almost feel like some of you are making yourself sick because when you're sick, you don't have to deal with shit. Ooh, they just had me kind of enlighten that situation. Do we need to put another light on the subject? Oh, I feel like for some of you, You don't have to make yourself sick. All you have to do is set boundaries and say no. Your blind spot is your people pleasing and trying to help others when you don't help yourself first. Then you get sick so that you can have this time to yourself, but it's almost like Spirit's like, yeah, but you don't have to fake it. You don't have to tell somebody, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get sick. You don't have to put your physical body. Now, sometimes our bodies do need to purge stuff. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you accumulate whatever and your body wants you to cough, get that phlegm out, or get that, virus. They want you to sweat it out, get that gunk out of your pores, out of your system. I mean, that is a real thing. But Spirit's saying you can also do that by going to the sauna, doing something you love, taking a hot bath. Maybe this year, skip the holiday party and say, you know what, I'm not coming. I'm not coming this year. I'm going to take some time to myself. I rarely get this time. Maybe you can say to your significant other, go with the kids. I don't want to go. If they don't want to go either, then you don't go this year. I grew up in the Midwest, and those who know, and those who don't, basically, the Midwestern culture is just so much of a, like, keeping up with the Joneses. Like, oh, well, everybody else is doing it, so let's all go fucking jump off a cliff too, And I remember when I started getting to the point where when I didn't want to do things, something would happen. I would have some type of physical ailment, down to, oh shit, I broke my toe. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't walk, oh, I guess I can't go this year. That's okay. I'm just going to stay home. It's going to be fun. And, everybody leaves. I like tape up my toe and I go and get the things I need. And I just rest and relax and I sleep and I nap and I watch TV. I masturbate, like whatever I want to do. There's nothing wrong with it. Masturbation is beautiful. Making love to yourself. There's nothing wrong with making love to yourself. There's nothing wrong with making love to yourself. I'll say that again. There's nothing wrong with making love to yourself. How else do you know how you like to be touched if you don't touch yourself? You know what doesn't feel good and what does, So I feel like that's a sidebar for somebody. Now, of course, porn and excessive things like that, no, please don't do that. The whole point is putting on, maybe some light jazz or you know what I mean, or whatever, music or no music, or being in nature, whatever, as long as it's safe and you're not, I don't know who this is for, but it's okay. It's okay. I just feel like it's just, maybe there's just a part of you that you have stopped doing because you want to make other people happy. I'm bringing this down a little bit. It's actually making me really sad, you guys. I feel like the candle wanted to come in to show you the light, show you the way. I'm going to turn this off. You don't need it that bright, right? Because maybe you're in a healing stage right now. Maybe you're like, where am I? I'm not really sure where I am. That's why I came to this reading. So let's find out where, besides that, what does the card have to say? Okay. 6 of Cups. What a cutie. What a cutie. I love this deck. It's the Joie de Vivre, which is the joy of life. I put the characters' names on here, so if I don't use the book, I can honor their names. So we have Bliss and, is that, I don't have my glasses on, a Charity and Innocence? I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Not that much. Okay. Just feel like you need this. Is this too much? Let me see if we can adjust this light. That's not bright, but I just kind of feel like I want you to see her. Oh, look how cute she is. I love this. Let's read the card. So cups are about our emotions. And it could be your blind spot. If you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go watch that one as well, because that spoke of emotions as well. So it could be that. So the key words when we're in light of this energy, when we're in the light energy of the 6 of Cups, are harmony, nostalgia, community, trust, and innocence. But when we're in the shadow energy of this card, we're longing for a past that's gone, living in a dream, and an exaggerated nostalgia. And this is going to be extreme, but there are people who will stay in a really abusive relationship over nostalgia. And also in this like hopeful, like, look at how hopeful they are. They're like, you know, looking towards the future, like always hopeful. And I love this about you, right? You're bliss, and these are your buddies, charity and innocence. I love it. But Spirit's saying you can't, but that's the blind spot, is like you can love somebody, but you can't change them, and you can't love them into changing. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has to change for themselves. You cannot, you know, what's that old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You could be like, you need to drink right now because we're going on this trip, horse. You got to drink, fill up, fill up. And the horse is like, yeah, I'm fine, I'll be fine. And they're like, yeah, but there's not going to be water, and you can't, you know what I mean? It's like, you cannot force somebody. And also, you know, they're showing me like domestic violence, right? Like maybe you're with somebody and like the first several months are beautiful and romantic, and they show you the most beautiful sides of themselves. And then you get in one fight and they see that, you know, they see your shadow, you see their shadow. And then it's hard for them to find that bliss again because they're in the shame of like that dark side of them. And then they start to live in that dark side of them until you get enough courage to leave, right? Or they, you know, move on because they don't want to be with you, and it's not about you. It's like they're just going to move on to their next victim. And I kind of feel like this is what I'm getting from Spirit. So it may not be that severe for you, but at least one person in this reading is in a pretty bad relationship that's like every day is so bad. And even when it's good, it's like you're still living in the nostalgia of what it was. But the truth is, like, whatever they're going through isn't going to happen with you there, unless, you know what I mean? Like, you become the full version of yourself. And maybe they will, I don't know. But most likely, you know, because I feel that hope part of you, right? Like I'm like that too, right? Like I'm like, well, it could, because I'm not going to say, you know, because each one of you in this reading, you know, you may not even be in a relationship. This could be about your relationship with yourself, you know, and the abuse could be like your self-talk, yourself, you know, like one minute you're like, look at me, I'm floating in the air with these creatures and I love everything, right? And then something happens, something triggers your shadow, and all of a sudden you're just like, I fucking hate myself, you know, blah, 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 right? Like I had a friend who was a really severe cutter. I mean, I was a cutter, but I was nothing like this person. Like this was like, when they finally showed me, I literally like went, ah! And I just like grabbed them and started hugging them and holding them until they like cried it all out. Because I felt honored that they showed me that, but I was like, I can't even, if this is you, I couldn't, I'm like, how has no one ever seen this? How has no one ever seen this much scar tissue on your small little body? And she's like, because even in the winter or in the summer, I wear long sleeves, and she was so skinny. And yeah, dude, I can't. So my heart, I just looked up, it was 43. So this might be your age. 43 is also the number 7. It could be the root of when it started. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I'm so sorry if any of you are going through that. That's really an emotional cutter, you know, it's just as bad. Because the scars are inside. They're in your brain, they're in your heart, they're in your psyche. That's some deep healing that needs to take place, my love. And that's why my throat chakra is so tight, because I can feel that I'm trying to cry for you. And even for some of you, it's hard to hear me cry. And that's okay. I'll cry for you until you're ready, but you need to get this out. And my goddess, if you're cutting at 43, my heart, like, I can't, like, I'm 53, and I've just been through so much dark stuff, and I know, and I've tried to kill myself like 7 times, you guys. And yeah, I've counted. It's probably more than that. Those are 7 significant ones over 53 years. It's not the way out. And as heartbreaking as it is, the situation, whether it's your relationships, your home, your work, or all of the above, I just feel like my heart is breaking for you, because I feel like every day is just like really hard for you. And I've been there. And I still have hard times. And right now in real time, in the shadow, we're in the most intense, like astrologically speaking, from everything I've been watching and from the astrologers that I trust and from what I've gathered, this is the most intense eclipse season I think we've ever seen. Definitely, I think, in our lifetimes. So, you know, it makes sense that we're going to be going to the darkest parts of us. And I'm hearing like square root 7, like, you know, so it could even be, you know, for everybody in this reading, like what happened when you were 7. It could be something as what somebody would say is trivial, but it's not trivial. It could be as trivial as being an only child and a kid at school stealing your toy and not giving it back to you, and you being afraid to tell your parent, and you just tell them that you lost it because you're afraid of that kid. That's where that root of that fear started. That's somebody, because you were an only child, nobody ever took anything from you. Everybody gave you everything, you know? Or it could be when you were 7 years old, maybe you started cutting. Maybe you saw somebody else do it. Maybe you were traumatized. Maybe you were molested or raped or something that no child should ever have to go through or witness or see or be a part of. You were here to get to the root of it and heal it so that you can be the warrior and the light worker for other people. We see now just how demonstrative actions can be and how humans can really be dark and evil, and you know, it's awful, it's sick, it's gross, it's sad. But we're also seeing how people, real true humanity wants that. And you can be in the shadow right now if that's where you feel more comfortable. Then Spirit's saying, then heal it though. Don't run away from it. I'm going to read from the book. Swimming side by side, Bliss and her mirror bunny friends, Charity and Innocence, appreciate the simple joys of life. 6-cup flowers sway with the waters of emotional contentment. The peaceful turquoise ocean ripples with harmony. The blending of traditions with new ideas is an energy harmonizer. Surround yourself with that which you remember and love, and appreciate the good in your life today. When looking back on the past with wistful memories, bring forth that enthusiasm and implement it into everyday living. Analyze what was successful then and update your actions to suit your current needs. So like I saw, like maybe like when you were 7, you loved wildflowers. So keep wildflowers around. Go pick wildflowers if you can. Find out where there's a place near you. You know, find the best way to pack them up so that they'll live longer. When you're cutting them, say thank you, give grace and gratitude for Spirit and Gaia and the earth and the sun and the moon and the stars and the rain and the beautiful flowers themselves. They're there to give us life and beauty and to remind us to be special, because we are. Look at that flower with the little arms and the face and the heart. They're in the shape of a heart, right? So work through this. For some of you, it's going to be, I mean, I feel like this is an intense energy. I feel like so many of you needed that cry. Like I said, like I'm all stuffed up. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, what is happening? Like there's just such an intense energy. But you know, I didn't feel this in reading 1 at all. That's why I know. And before I started this, I was like, boop, 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 like in a super high vibration, like in a good mood. And then like, it's just, you know, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I love you. Like, that's my job, and I'm here for you. I'm here to hold space for you to do this. But, you know, it's no joke. Work with rosemary. Rosemary's a great protector. Get real fresh rosemary if you can. Get some organic rosemary, grow it, keep it around your house. Rosemary is super good to keep away the negative energy and entities, you know, because this is how I see you. This is how spirit sees you. This is who you are. You're this energy, this light, beautiful, loving, you know, innocence, like this childlike innocence. But there's something that is, you know, holding you back, you know, and you are so blessed. And I feel like for some of you, it's almost like it's like you keep bringing yourself back to the shadow with people, places, and things, you know. Recently, one of my dear friends, I was messaging with them, and Spirit asked me to write this thing, and I didn't really want to write it because I was like, I don't want them to feel like they're under a microscope, like, you know, and they're like, it's just a question, you know, they'll know it's from us and not from you. And I was like, yeah, but still, 50-50 when I looked up. So fives are about change and transformation, but because it was 50:50, I feel like it's like you're on the other side. Like, I feel like you're in shadow right now, and once you get through this, it's going to be different for all of you guys, but once you get past this one hurdle, it's going to be like that scene from Wizard of Oz when they come out of the dark woods and they see Oz, and the music is, you're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the, come into the light, or something like that. You know, it's like, you're on your way there. Like, you're literally like almost there, you know what I mean? But I feel like for some of you, like, and the candle's there to light the way for you, to show you, and that you're not look at all of these crystals, these stones, these, you know, it's like, this is your world, this is your life, you know, like, you know, like, there's magic underneath every little rock, every surface. They had me, you know, turn that over for the other one, but, you know, everything happens for a reason. So, you know, it's like, you got this. They actually had me put it on the rosemary. You got this. You just have to open your mind, body, and soul. Also, is anybody else seeing like any scrying going on here? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Right here in this area. I'm trying to it's kind of backwards. I think I reversed my camera on accident earlier, so fuck, I just realized that. So I hope that you've been able to see this correctly. But yeah, this is some powerful stuff. Anyway, I see the Playboy bunny. I don't know if anybody all sees that. But it kind of also looks like a rock and roll, like, hey, like, you know, there's a lot of things. So maybe it's for you to like wake up your magic and remember, like, you're this powerful light being having a human experience. Don't forget that, okay? Never forget who and what you are and what you came here to do. Let me see if they want us to pull any more cards or if that's it. Nope, those are your messages. Beautiful reading too. I hope this helped you in any way. I love you. Spirit loves you. Get out into nature, release and let go. We are days away from the first quarter moon, and we're less than 2 weeks out now from the full lunar eclipse. We are in eclipse season. The full moon is on the full lunar eclipse. I mean, this is like no joke. So just hang in there. You're not alone. Hang in there. Hang in there. Every Sunday, we go live here on the Magical Medium. I am Tallulah Kelly. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome back to those of you who keep coming back. We keep growing in numbers. We're so happy to have you here. And so we go live every Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time, okay? And we do channelings and readings, whatever comes through. But it's been mostly just channeling lately. So, you know, if you have a question for Spirit, or if you would just like to come and be part of the conversation, what's really great is that even though we do readings, people will interject, and it's really cool because we're all, you know, wherever two or more gather. So we're so powerful as like a community. And I love when like other light workers like give their insight as well. It just takes us down another rabbit hole, gives us another breadcrumb to follow to help us find the answers. So you, my beautiful soul, Spirit says, don't forget that this is who you are. This is your mission. Okay. So you are out of the woods. You just need to get to that base core thing and work with that. Okay. And it may be something that takes you a lot of time, but just stay in your light in the meantime. Work on it when you feel good and when it comes to you. Sometimes Spirit will have you work on things when you're at your most vulnerable and when you're most tired, because that's when you don't have your defenses up. So just ride with the energy. If you got to call off, or if you need to say, I'm not going to go to this event, whatever it is you need to do, take that time for you. It's really important. And for some of you, maybe you live alone and Spirit's saying, hey, have you ever thought about getting, an animal? Maybe for some of you, it's two. Maybe you're meant to get 2 bunnies or 2 hamsters or 2 cats or 2 dogs or something. Maybe it would help you to feel more protected too, to have that energy. Call in some familiars. If you have the means and a safe and abundant, beautiful, healthy home that you can take care of animals, then please open your home to them. Even if it's just during a foster, So a lot of animals out there that need, even if it's just a temporary home. The shelters are overflowing, especially during COVID. A lot of people took on animals when they didn't have human comfort, and then they didn't have that connection. They didn't understand, and they just gave them over. And a lot of senior animals are in shelters right now. So, you can be that best friend, because maybe you want to, it's interesting. I just lost my familiar this year, and we were together for 13 years. But years before that, I ran a foster in my house. I fostered a lot of animals for same thing, for overflowing shelters. Usually we had cats that had feline leukemia. So we took in other cats who had feline leukemia. And then we also took in, dogs, and people kind of knew that about us. And it's interesting because I look back on it now and I was like, and it's kind of sad. I only got to have them for a few years, but the cool thing is they got to live out their best, elder years with me. And I wasn't that committed. I was on my path. I was meant to keep moving forward. Where on the reverse, when I was meant to go into my deep spiritual awakening and work with Spirit, that's when they connected me with Baba. And when Baba told me she had to leave me, I was heartbroken. And she said, it's time. This was all the years this was always the way it was going to be. You need to be on your own now. It's time for you to be on your own again. So, you know what I mean? So it could even be that even if you have that dog for 2 years, or that, hamster for a month, it's you gave them a great month. There's a lot of people who are into jumping spiders now, and they're like, wow, I didn't know I'd get this connected to a spider in just a year. And it's yeah, because it's teaching us love again. It's teaching us connection with something bigger and greater than ourselves. And really all they're doing is reflecting it back to us, what we truly are, which is love. I love you so much, you guys. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, or if you would like to donate to the work on this channel, all of my information is in the description box. It is never, ever warranted, but always needed. And prayer is free. You know what I mean? I'm warranted. I don't think I've ever said that before, but you know what I mean? Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. Sometimes I get an influx and sometimes no, we're good right now. We have everything we need. We're all good, right? And sometimes I'm I get an influx of gifts, and they come from money. They come from actual gifts. They come from prayers. Something I prayed for comes to be, So it's all about the exchange of energy. And remember that prayer is free. I love you so much. And hopefully we'll see you here on Sundays. If not, we'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. I hope. Bye. Welcome, reading 3. I had so much fun building your altar. You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh. So, as it's stated in the title, what is your blind spot? What is keeping you from moving forward? So, we are using the complete book of tarot spreads, and it is page 76, and we are using a reading called Blindspot. And I'm going to read it to you. And if you can, close your eyes so you can really take it in. If it's safe to do so, of course. So, discovering your blind spots is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it addresses your personal strengths. Tarot cards do not invent blind spots. They only mirror the way we see the things that follow us daily. I'm going to read that again. They only mirror the way we see the things that follow us daily. Finding a blind spot is of value to everything that concerns our life. Cards used to discover blind spots can be neither chosen nor pulled. We would then see only what we already know, not what we don't, which is precisely the blind spot in the lens. The best sign of a blind spot is when you look at a card and think that the person who has painted the picture has made a mistake, right? No one's at fault. Cards that you perceive as being either exclusively positive or negative are also the clearest indicators of blind spots. So, here is your card. Let's see if it wants to be here. Oh, so this other thing that came up, you guys, before I show you your card. Now, this might just be for one person, okay? So this is for somebody who either already has a channel on YouTube or do some type of readings on Instagram or TikTok or something like that. I'm getting the vibe from Spirit. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to follow the moon cycles. Maybe you already do, but I know that when I was really drawn to do the moon cycles, Spirit actually had me do all of them. And if you look on my playlists on this channel, you'll see moon readings. And when I started doing the readings, quote unquote, religiously, they had me do the moon cycles. And I did that for I did readings before, but this was different. This was I did not miss a moon cycle for a year and a half, and there were 8. So I was doing 8 readings a month. So they were either for the tribe or pick-a readings or all of the above. And, obviously insert your story here. I'm just telling you what I did, do whatever calls to you, my path, your path, you know what I mean? It's all the same. And I wouldn't think you're copying if you did that, you know what I mean? Because I know that's what you're meant to do. But for me, Spirit really pulled me back. I still do readings, but I was flabbergasted that Spirit didn't have me do a reading for the new moon in Virgo on Virgo, the Virgo season coming in. I was this just seems silly. It just was bizarre to me. But I started to realize they're it's time to pass the torch. So for some of you, maybe you're meant to start a channel on YouTube. People love moon readings. They're really cool. And most people who are drawn to the moon readings are people like us, the witches, healers, and deep down believers in magics, and the witch community is so big, nothing's going to stop us now. They can't keep us quiet now. People see how good we are. People see our, and we see their fakery and their fuckery. And before they would just hang us, burn us, whatever. But now it's of course they're doing horrible things now. We do see that they're doing horrible things. But what I'm saying is that there's power in numbers. And also learning the energy of the moon cycle is so important. It's literally vital to us to understand where we are. Right now, we just had in real time, we just had the new moon in Virgo 3 or 4 days ago. And now we are in the waxing crescent. So technically, this would be, if I had done, I would do a reading on the new moon, and then I would do readings on the waxing crescent. And, there's time between the new moon and the first quarter moon. So I would try and do it somewhere in the middle, and each one has a phase. In fact, one of our tribe members, Anna, she gave me this book. We're so blessed. Actually, this tarot spread book I'm using is from one of our other tribe members, Allie, as well. So thank you, beautiful souls. But I'm going to read this to you. So Anna gave me this really awesome, I don't know what you call it. I mean, it's been a little bit of a grimoire. It's been everything to me. It's been my poems. It's been everything. But basically, she gave me this beautiful book that has the moon cycles on it. It says moon phases, and each one tells you what it is and then tells you what the energy is around it. So obviously the first moon phase is the new moon, and that's about new beginnings. The second moon phase is the waxing crescent, like I just spoke of, and that's setting our intentions. So this is the time to set our intentions. And then the first quarter moon, which is the third cycle is where we take action on those intentions. Then the next one, number 4, is waxing gibbous, where we refine and focus those energies, right? Because we take action, but like maybe things, you know, we're like, how can I better look at this? Like, you know, really getting to the details of it. Then we get to the 5th moon cycle, which is the full moon, and we celebrate our blessings, right? We say, thank you, Spirit, for, you know, what has come to be. Then the next one, number 6, is the waning gibbous, where we reflect and release on those intentions that we had set. And remember, if things don't come to fruition quickly, just because you set the intention in that moon cycle doesn't mean it, not everything is going to show up right away, right when you want it, right? Like, that's the instant gratification. That's the bad bill of goods that they sold us. We're not meant to have instant gratification because it's not real. If you look at your altar, I mean, look at the way they set this up for you. I mean, just look at the crystals to the left, you know? I mean, it literally, I was looking, I'm like, it looks like outer space, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like spirit, and, you know, and I feel like this is like as above, so below. So I feel like this is like the earthy side and like a little bit of sparkle, right? Because earth is magic. And then, you know, we've got on the other side is the, you know, the sparkling energy, the healing energy from, you know, as above, so below. And I feel like the moon is there to remind us that the moon and the sun are there to show us that there's always going to be daytime and there's always going to be nighttime. I mean, obviously, if you're certain parts of the planet, right, in Alaska, it's like sunny for how many days or whatever, right? Because that's when the planet, and that shows us that the planet is ever changing, ever turning, ever, you know what I mean? It's always moving. And that's when we sleep and we're awake. Some people sleep during the day and are awake at night, whatever works for you. You know, maybe this is a message for you that, you know, you're trying so hard, you know, you're like, no matter how much I sleep, I'm like, I just want to sleep during the day. It's like, you're not a vampire. I mean, maybe you are, and that's okay. We love you, right? But I'm saying, like, if you thrive more at night, then you need to find a job that will allow you to sleep during the day and work at night. And maybe for some of you, you're meant to be a reader. Just because I've been doing this for years, and we're like really close to 1,100 right now, but, you know, we're a tribe. I don't just have random subscribers because I'm just fucking putting out readings like a Zoltar machine, you know, like, and that's okay. Those people are meant to do that, right? You have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you know, bless you, you know, whatever works for everybody. But my job, my path, my purpose is to awaken and build up and uplift, you know. It's so funny because earlier I was singing, you raise me up to blah, 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 to climb a mountains, you raise me up. So like, I do feel like that's part of my path. That's part of my purpose. And I feel like it's for you guys too. Like, you're here to inspire, you're here to change and evolve and grow. Oh, I just got the chills. And then to bring those lessons forward. So when you're following the moon cycles and you really start doing it, I'm telling you from personal experience, doing it for a year and a half, it was, number one, really demanding, because there were just weeks where I'm like, I just don't want to do that many readings right now, or I don't have it in me. Ooh, when I looked up, it was an hour and 8 minutes and 8 seconds, but there's semicolons between them. So I feel like for some of you, something major happened. Like you had some type of awakening over this last Lionsgate portal. Right, when I looked up, it was 8:25, and then it went to 26. So yesterday was 8:25, and a lot of interesting, cool things were happening with me in spirit, and I was going down some really interesting roads. But then this morning I woke up, and all of a sudden I was like, "What is happening? Where am I? What am I doing?" And I noticed it was the 26th, so that was really interesting. So I feel like as we're wrapping up August, and whenever you watch this, they're always timeless, but in real time, you know, this Lionsgate portal was really fucking intense. I believe all of us, you know, I would say most of us, if not all of us, have received some really serious downloads during this time, and we were meant to receive those downloads. So I feel like if you are being pulled to do some type of spiritual work, like, your blind spot is it's like, get out of your own way and you'll be fine. Like, you have the gifts, you have the talent. When I was putting this together, let's put it this way, and I'm not saying this to like throw flowers at myself, but I'm a badass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem. I worked really hard to attain this title, you know, and it's not even a title. I mean, I'm not a prize fighter. This isn't Rocky, but, you know, meaning like, I didn't come out of a box like this. I had to fight really, really, really hard to get to this energy, to become this person. And I feel like with you guys, you've been fighting and fighting too. And Spirit's like, you are so magical. I would say if you found yourself to this reading, like, you're most likely, I'm a telepathic medium, but I'm also like, I don't know if they have levels, but if they do, I know I'm a high level empath because I've been told by other spiritual teachers that I'm what they call a high level empath. So, you know, it's kind of like telepathy, empathy, and being a medium. They're all connected. It's kind of like the same thing. It just gives you like a more like, you know, in-depth scope of like what they are and what they mean, but they kind of translate to the same thing. And I feel like you are on that same level and you are ready. You may think you're not ready, but it's just because you haven't implemented your changes. It took a while, you guys. I mean, I did a lot of readings for free with friends and family. Like, it took me over a decade to get to this point. Now, it may not happen like that for you. That's what I was going to say, is that I'm meant to be this because the people that are in this tribe, we are solid. The people who are finding their way here are like, holy shit, like, you are so similar to me. Thank you so much. Like, that makes sense. You know, it's like we are all here to uplift each other and raise each other up. However, some of you may have been doing the work for a long time and bam, your fucking channel is going to take off. It's just going to take off because that's what's meant to happen. And you will be able to have the life that you want, you know, and this isn't for everybody, but, you know, you will be able to sleep during the day and work at night if that works for you. You can sleep 4 hours if you, my friend recently was like, I'm fine on 4 hours of sleep. And I was like, I know a lot of people like that. So, you know, or maybe you're somebody who likes to sleep 2 hours and then you do like 5 hours of work and then you sleep 2 hours, you know. You go on your rhythm. I'm hearing from Spirit, it's time for you to go on your body rhythm and the rhythm of the stars and Gaia, not connecting to a time clock. I'm literally seeing somebody punching in with a time card. They're saying that's not working for you, and it won't. And you'll just be miserable and you'll just be on the hamster wheel. We spoke about this in, I don't know if it was reading 1 or reading 2. If you were drawn to any of the other readings, go watch them. But if not, don't make it your story. If I'm saying things and it doesn't fucking make sense and it sounds like gibberish, it's most likely not your reading. But there might be one thing in there that would help you, but try not to get too twisted around. You know what I mean? So, and the rest of the moon cycles, they want me to say, number 7 is the 3rd quarter moon, transition and forgiveness. And then the last is the 8th moon cycle, which is the waning crescent. And that's in the rest and restore phase. And if all human beings went on the fucking, like, the rhythm of the moon, it would be like, it literally would be like hands across the world and like kumbaya, and because there's a reason for it. However, there are also some that are really drawn to the sunshine. So as like human beings and the earth, we flow with the cycle of the moon. But if you're somebody who was born on like Sunday, I've just watched this over and over. So, you know, when there's a repetitive pattern, patterns are there to give us acknowledgement, right? Like if you're like, I don't know what my blind spot is, see where the pattern is happening in your life, because most of the time it's that habitual pattern that you've been doing. It could be just driving, you know, to work because you've been taking that same thing over and over. But if you take another path, it might actually like awaken you to something else where you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. I've always wanted to do that for a job. I should go see if they're hiring. You know what I mean? Like there's just, it's always about just changing one thing, you know, getting out of the mentality of the 3D, because some of you, it's like, do you remember the original Harry Potter, for the Harry Potter fans, you know, where Harry just felt like he just didn't belong and he was getting bullied and, you know, he didn't like really where he lived and all that. And then the second he gets to Hogwarts, he's like, holy shit, like this makes sense. This makes sense. This all makes sense. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like you guys. You need to be in the magical world. It's like you're looking and yearning for the dream to be there, but they're like, in order for you to be in the dream, you have to live in the dream. You know, it's not about maxing out your credit cards and living beyond your means. It's about, like, if you really want to live somewhere, then you go in on the ground floor. Like, I've always wanted to live in the area that I live in now, but I've had to live in not the best, not the worst, but I haven't lived in the best situations. As I don't know if you've been hearing the traffic going by. You know, I live right off a freeway, but at the same time, if I go outside, if I was listening to like music in my earbuds, right, and I couldn't see the traffic or hear them or feel the vibration of the semis going by. But you know what I'm saying? If I could just look around, it would be like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surrounded by mountains. I'm on salt water. I'm looking, literally, I have mountain ranges like, it's so beautiful where I live. It's majestic. You know, back in the day, this is like where the tribes would live. This is where people, you know, they'd be close to these beautiful, you know what I'm saying? However, until I can afford, and I will, I know I will, I'm on my way there. I'm a millionaire. I keep telling myself that, you know, I know it's happening. I know it's happening because I'm talking myself into my new life. But I have to let go of the things that no longer serve me so I can get there. And that's what Spirit's saying. It's like they had me put the card there, but like, this is who you really are, like this sparkly, beautiful creature. And they're saying we can just as easily, you know, put the card over here so we're not covering up your magic from the moon. Don't put your back to the magic. Stop turning away from the magic. What I'm hearing from Spirit is stop leaning into and turning into the third dimensional energy like you're, as if you're ever going to change any of it, and like lean out of it. You need to lean out of it. And if it means going to get a new job, because, you know, a lot of times people are like, how do I leave? How do I do this? How do I stop talking to my friends, my family? How do I break up with my partner and go to a new job? And how do I do everything? It's like, you have to just do one thing at a time. Like I've said before, what do you love? Go to a job of something you love. If it's something that requires school, find a way to go there. If you can get it through YouTube University where it's free, then do that. If you can't, you have to get certified, but you really love it and that's where it's at right now, then go towards that. But there has to be something. You have to take one step forward first. You're behind your own blind spot because of this fear of the unknown. We spoke about fear a lot in reading 1. So if you're drawn to reading 1, I'm serious. Also drink some water, stay hydrated. Because it's almost like you're using the muggles in your life and the third dimensional experience as like your shield, but against spirit. It's almost like you're in it, you're in the spiritual world, but you're not really in it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you found yourself here and you're new, welcome. For those of you who keep coming back, welcome back. We love you all so much. But, you know, for some of you, I feel like you know this, and like, they're like, how many times does spirit have to say it until you actually make the first real, serious, bold move? And for some of you, I feel like you're concerned that you won't have friends or you won't have people, and you're afraid of being alone. Number one, if you're afraid of being alone, you really need to be alone, because you need to first and foremost face that. Why are you afraid to be alone? Why is your company not worth being with? I'm hanging here with you. I love you. I think you're a badass motherfucker just like me. So if you are here and you like these readings and you like my connection with spirit or my personality or all of the above, then I'm just mirroring you back to you. You're awesome. You're so gifted. But what if you think about it like this? Let's just take one tack at a time. And this may be your story, it may be somebody else in the reading. But either way, thank you for your story, because this is spirit showing me it. They're showing me the life spiral of it. You love a certain thing, so you're like, I'm going to do that for a job. And you go and you get the job, and you like love the person right away. You go in, you're like, are you hiring? You know, I've never done this before, but I really feel like blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, sure. You know, I like you a lot. What did you do? And, you know, and so you have this great rapport, right? Because you're supposed to be there. Then slowly you integrate yourself into that world because everybody who goes to that shop is more in that world, the magic world, the spirit world. Mine started like that because I worked at an organic clothing store. Little did I know, later I found out that the owner and the manager were connected to this huge spiritual community, massive. And I learned so much from all of them. And they all worked really hard to break a lot of my bad habits and a lot of things that I didn't want to change. I didn't want to, you know, and now I'm forever grateful to them. And ironically, the store was called Gaia. I mean, right? I mean, come on. So little did I know that Spirit was connecting me, and it was like, and I just kept following the breadcrumbs and meeting this person, that person, trying on this group for size, trying on these people for size. No, I don't, you know, this feels good now, but I don't know, maybe I want to go over here. And now all of the years of me going from living in apartments to now I live in a RV, and yeah, it might not be the best situation right now, but it's getting me closer to my dream. It's getting me closer to where I want to be. And it's also helping me figure out like the parts of me that I still needed to work on, that needed to grow, that needed to change. So I am here to tell you that you can do it, and I believe in you, and Spirit believes in you. Just get the fuck out of your own way and really, really connect with your higher self. So let's see what your card has to say. Oh, yep, that makes sense. When I was pulling these, I was going to take pictures, and I thought they wanted me to put the cards on the front. And they said it was like this, but I wanted to put this on the front, and they said no. But I didn't know what the readings were going to be like. So tomfoolery, stop with the tomfoolery. Tomfoolery means like stop with the bullshit. Like stop fucking playing small. Stop pretending like you don't have gifts. You know, stop pretending like you don't see things that like other people see. You know, like some people will be like, oh yeah, it's a cool black rock. But what do you see? I bet you see more than a rock. I bet you see an image in there. A fairy, an angel. Maybe you see whatever you see. There are no wrong answers. Maybe you see a bird. Maybe you see mountain range. This rock really wanted to come in today, and it was for you. Because they want you to stop playing small. And remember who and what you are. Stop with the tomfoolery. And you've been hurt. Obviously. Look at the fucking daggers in your back. And Spirit's like, that's the thing though. Why do you want to live with daggers in your back? They brought it down to shadow for a reason. It's like I feel like here, you know, it's like you're trying to run towards Spirit, and you're trying to run away from like the earth energy. And maybe for some of you, that's it. Like you're living in the spiritual, like you're like, oh, but I'm doing my meditations. They're like, yeah, but you're not changing the real, like, so here, your mission, should you choose to accept it, whenever you see this, is timeless, of course. But if you watch this in real time during this eclipse season, especially in the full moon, because it's less than 2 weeks away now, it's September 7th to the 8th. It's a full moon and it's a full lunar eclipse. And I'm getting from Spirit, like, set those intentions right now. Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? You know, start with one place. Like, are you happy where you live? Because if you're happy with the town you live in, then stay there. You just need to figure something out. If like for me, there were certain places, it was like everywhere I went was like, you know, seeing the same thing over and over and over and over. And I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to not see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to see what wasn't my past. And I feel like for some of you, that's what it is. It's like they don't want you to look at your past. They want you to look forward. But you're somewhere in the middle. Let's hear, I love this book. This book it's like one of the best books ever. This is from the Joie de Vivre Tarot, and which it's French, and basically what it comes out to is it's the joy of life. And in order for you to be happy, you need to get those swords out of your back, man. And you know what the worst is? one of the things that, I'll tell you what, I mean, for me, it was easy. Not easy. I mean, I fucking miss my family and my friends and stuff, but I'm saying, like, what made it easier, as bizarre as this may sound, what made it easier, at least for me, was that when some of my family members were being dicks and being really mean to me, I was like, keep coming, keep coming. I'm like, good. Keep reminding me why I never want to talk to you again. Or at least, like, maybe in this lifetime will, you know, they'll change and evolve and grow. I don't know. I hope so. But you know what I'm saying? I was like, why would I want to be there? Why would I want to be around them? Why would I, you know what I mean? Like I just get this vibe from spirit. Like, why do you want to be around people who, or places or things who make you feel bad about yourself, or who judge you, or give you grief? Look at that moonstone right in front of that too. Oh, this is so powerful. So here are the key words. So when we're in the light energy of the Seven of Swords, we're feeling cautious, impulsiveness. Oh, so interesting. They've always had me say, like, when we're in light, like when we're in the upright, and when we're in the reverse, the shadow, but they're having me to retract that statement, and they just want me to read the key words for the upright and the reverse. Okay, so let me, and just rewind and take that back. It's kind of like in a courtroom, though. You already heard it, so, like, whatever whatever works for you. So caution, impulsiveness, irrational dishonesty, diplomacy, assuming a victim mentality, fear of responsibility, and reluctance to complete what's been started. Oh, shit. So it says, running across the land with the bundle of stolen swords in his arms, tomfoolery darts away with 5 stolen swords. He'll soon have to come to terms with the upheaval he's created. You may want to run away in avoidance of a situation, but that could make the circumstance worse. It's a time to look inward and examine your own behavior toward yourself and others. Exercise caution and identify your true allies. Yeah. Seven of Swords has always been such an intense card for me. The Seven's like the Seven of Wands too, right? Like they're not the easiest energies to deal with. So it's interesting too, the way that they even had me place the card. You know, it's like that's how I feel like you feel, like you're somewhere in the middle, like you're in limbo. You're trying to still have like this grounded energy and be in the 3rd dimensional energy, but you're also like wanting to be in the 5th dimensional energy, and they're trying to get you to understand that it's not a place that you're running to, or you're going to, or running from, or you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They want you to just stand fucking still and be an observer and just watch it all happening. They're all there. It's not a place. You're not like graduating. This isn't a game. This isn't Donkey Kong, you know, where it's like, you know, the more levels you go, it's like, it's like, yeah, it's going to change, and they're going to throw the barrels at you and you got to jump at them. That's going to happen. That's life. But what they're trying to show you is that it's all happening at the same time. Either you can lean into the 5th dimensional energy of just love and light and happiness and joy. And when you're around the shadow energy of the 3rd dimensional, you know, control, patriarchy, fear, lack, you know, all of that, they're like, that's a choice. So you're playing the victim. You're saying, like, you know, and like I said recently, Spirit had me ask one of our tribe members this question, and it was really interesting. And it was something like, but like, why are you really there? And I didn't want to write it because I was just like, I don't want to seem judgy, that they're like, they'll understand it's not from you. And I was like, okay, because I was just like, you know, I know what it's like. You know, you don't want somebody to be like, hey, why aren't you moving faster? Hey, why aren't you? It's like, if you're going in divine timing, you're going in divine timing. That's true. But at the same time, you have to remember that if you stay, sometimes when you stay too long, there are certain things that you will miss out on, unfortunately. You know, Baba kept trying to send me signs before she died that she wanted to go camping. And I was like, dude, what? I'm like, it's too cold to go camping, or we can't go camping, or we can't, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the irony is that the week leading up to her death was really beautiful. She died January 31st, 2025, and we live in the Pacific Northwest. January isn't always really nice, but we tend to have some nice little peaks and valleys in January. But long story short, we could have easily gone camping. And then it all came to me yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, that's what she was trying to show me. Of course, she died with us in this house, and that's fine. And Alder was here, but Alder and I, my partner, we were still separated, but we were separated at the time. And I kept asking him to like be more present with us, and he just wouldn't. And I was like, well, tell me what to say, or tell me what to do, or, you know, it was just really difficult to get him to be on the same page. And I kept seeing that, like Baba showed me where she wanted to be, but I thought that's where she wanted to be laid to rest. I didn't realize that she wanted us to actually go camping there, and she wanted to be in nature for the last like week or two of her life. The last few days of her life, she wanted to be like on the earth, like next to the river, you know what I mean? Like that's what she wanted. That's what she really, really wanted. We burned her there. We had like a Viking burial kind of thing, like not really in the water, but like next to the water, and we built like a big bonfire and stuff by the river that Alder and I got. We were betrothed there, right? So, oh man, I was so split up for a while. And then I realized, like, she's like, it's fine. I mean, I'm glad that we were all together and we were in our house. Like, I love you guys, like, you know, and we had picked her up and brought her outside, you know, the day before she died. She did get to be outside and stuff, but you know, but I missed it. I saw the signs, but I missed it. And it sucks. And, you know, she's like, that's the way she would have chose, is for us to like camp out there together, you know, and, you know, that's what she would have wanted at least one night. I got the vibe that she wanted us to like go there at least one night, and then like she would have like just died there. Instead, we had to wrap her and bring her body there, and I had to sleep, you know, with her. It was really hard to sleep with her body. She died at 7:00 at night, and it was really hard. We went the next morning, but it was just difficult. So you know what I mean? Oh, when I looked down, it was 1:31:13. Shut it, Baba. Shut it, Baba. She died January 31st, right? But she's always with me, and so that's what she's saying. Is like, is it a horrible thing? No. You know what I mean? Like, is it? It's like, it's not about that. It's about understanding that sometimes it's always gonna, like, right, like we ended up taking her there anyway. It's just, if we are like in a fear bubble and we're not quiet, we're not grounded, we're not connected to the earth. I'm gonna open a window, speaking of, it's starting to get really hot in here all of a sudden. Like, I love when that happens. Hold on, you guys, I'll be right back. So in theory, did everything happen the way it was supposed to? Yes, but we are given opportunities. When we go with the flow of spirit and divine timing, it can be even better than we even possibly imagined. When Baba showed me it, I mean, obviously she had to wait until it's been almost, you know, 7 months for me to be able to accept it, because if she had told me that a few months ago, I would have fucking beat the fuck out of myself over that. I was beating myself up enough, missing certain signs or the way I behaved or think, right? Because it's always, you know, what's that old saying? Something is 20/20, right? Like, meaning like if, of course, if we knew now what we knew then, but we didn't know that then. That's the whole point. It's like we're given choices and opportunities every minute of every day. And then this isn't like some obstacle course you're trying to win or whatever. It's just, if you follow, you know, the breadcrumbs of your own life, like you mapped it out. You've already mapped out your whole existence. You co-created this. You know, we all co-created this together. We co-created this with spirit for our journey. You know, we created, you know, the villains of the world. You know what I mean? They're just a different version of us. We invented this earth and this place to be humans, and this like matrix video game, whatever you want to call it, to learn lessons. Spirit's saying, you learned your lessons. Another movie that is a good one to watch is watch the Sex and the City movie. Even if you've never seen the shows, watch the first Sex and the City movie. It's so good because, you know, it's just, there's just so many moments in there. It's actually probably I think one of the best things they ever created. I haven't watched the second, you know, thing, incarnation or whatever, but I always loved that movie so much because of the pearls. And there's this really great scene where, you know, they're 4 best friends, and 3 out of the 4 best friends end up having horrible breakups with their partners within like the same year, I think. It's been a while since I watched it. And one of them, everything's like fucking perfect. And they start to realize that she's starting to take on these kind of like weird behaviors. And they're like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm not okay. She's like, I'm just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, what's going to happen with me? And they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, this happened to you and this happened to them. And she's like, so what do you think's going to happen? She's like, I don't know. And it's funny because there's this scene where they go on this vacation together, and she ends up drinking the water from Mexico, and she ate too much pudding because she was afraid to eat the food there, so she only brought packaged food with her. Long story short, she ends up like getting the runs really bad, and she can't hold it, and she ends up shitting her pants. And of course they all fucking laugh their asses off because they're like, dude, that's hilarious. But if she's always like perfect, right? Everything has to be perfect, so she's mortified. So at the end of the movie, you know, she says, what are you so afraid of, you know? And she's like, you know, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you. And she's like, so what do you think's going to happen to you? She's like, I don't know. That's what I just want to make sure that. And she's like, what? And she goes, Charlotte, you shit your pants this year. She goes, I think you're done. And that's what I feel like Spirit's saying to you. Like, each one of you have your own scenario where, like, I'm sure there's something that has been, you know what I mean? Like, stop holding your breath, or stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. They're like, just fucking do it. Just be who you are. Let your freak flag fly. Maybe for some of you, you need something extreme. Maybe you have really long natural hair and you've always wanted short, fucking bright electric green hair. Go fucking do it. Shock everybody, but shock yourself. Like, it's really shocking yourself back into who you are. It's like the, you know, clear, boom, you know, like the defibrillators, whatever, you know. And I feel like Spirit's like, it's time for you to like shock yourself back into like who you are, and remember who you are, because you are a powerful warrior and a powerful leader. And, you know, maybe you need to start a channel called Moon Magic Readings or something like that. I don't know, that just came into being. But if you ever use magic, you know, I use magic with a K the old English way. I think, honestly, there's something to it. I think that's why they took the K off of it in the English dictionary. I'm not fucking kidding you either. I really do. So let me see. Do we have any more cards for reading 3? No more cards. Do we have any more messages for reading 3? Does reading 3 have any more messages? Nope. Those are your messages. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I really hope these readings helped you in any way, and good fortune and blessings to you on your journey. And remember, you know, I think this one might have been in reverse. And if it is, you know, then maybe that's, you may have to be in feeling like your world's a little upside down for a while you focus on getting grounded. Because you are connected as above, so below. Like you are this gifted, you know, warrior, angel, witch, like whatever label you call yourself. Like, you are this being, but you also had a 3rd dimensional experience as a human being. You are a human being. Like, you are a light being in a, you know, but you're having a human experience. You get to be what you want to be, whatever you're longing for. If you're longing for it, it's longing for you too. That's your reality. You just have to get there. And you just have to do it one step, one breath, one moment at a time. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own blind spot. All right, you guys. Remember, every Sunday we go live, Pacific Standard Time. I go live with the tribe. We do channelings and readings. So if you'd like to go more in depth on your own story, please meet us over there. If not, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can email me, magickalmedium@gmail.com. All of my information is in the description box and on this channel if you would like to donate. And remember that prayer is free. All right, until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you. Blessed be. Oh.